Hey everybody, this is Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog. Today on the Slow and Low series, we have Steve Rosenbaum, who's a speaker, author of The True Backend. I might be saying that incorrectly. I'm going to double check with him in a second. How are you doing today, Steve?
Erica, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here.
The original backend specialist is what I meant to say.
Yes, I've got that unfortunate moniker.
Yeah, you know what? You made it popular. So how about that? One day you'll be like the most popular thing.
Now there's truth to that.
So Steve, I just want to get out there and describe your business to our audience in the best way possible. I know you're the original backend specialist, but we want to know, what does that mean?
Right. The first question I always get asked when people say that, they see my business card, they ask if I'm a doctor. No, I'm not a doctor. That's not what that means. Then I usually get some other questions, which I won't even repeat here. But what I focus on is I'm a true champion of business and entrepreneurs, and especially Main Street America businesses. I really want to help them succeed. It's what I've done my entire career. And I have found a specific area of expertise that helps all businesses that I work with here, and it's by focusing on what I call the back end of their marketing funnel. And it's so funny because I was over at your blog today, the Classy Climb blog, and what was the most recent article that you wrote on the Classy Climb blog?
Repeat business is your business.
I couldn't even say it any better. That's what a back end specialist does. A back end specialist helps businesses follow up better. That means repeat business. That means following up with prospects in a way that gets them to convert from being a prospect into a paying customer. Those are all the things that I do.
I mean, that to me, the more videos I watch, the more people I interview, the more people I speak to, it's the repeat business, and the person talking about your business is the most important part. Is that person sharing with friends, like, I go with this little company, or like right now you're smoking a cigar from a company you like. And
I am.
Cigar because Steve just talked about it live. So
thanks for that segue. Now I get to keep it lit.
You do. So what is it? I'm trying to get some good questions in there, mix it up for you. What's the biggest challenge in starting a business?
The biggest challenge in starting a business is starting a business. It's getting out of your own way and taking that first step and not worrying about perfection. Don't be afraid about making mistakes, because I can make you one promise. I can only make you one promise, but that one promise is you're going to make mistakes. If I could make you a second promise, that's okay. You're going to survive and you're going to get better. So the biggest challenge of starting a new business is taking that first step.
It is. And how do you encourage others? When people hear mistakes, they freeze up. They're like, oh, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to lose money. But what is something you can do to encourage others to get started in entrepreneurship or in a business?
Well, that's a great question. And the first thing I have to say, Erica, is you have to understand that being an entrepreneur and being in business is not for everybody. I was very impressed when I spoke to your group at Houston Tillotson University. Fantastic group. I really enjoyed myself immensely. And frankly, as is always the case, whenever I'm making a presentation and I'm in front of a group, there's always a few people that rise up, that move forward, that show that this is truly their thing. Erica, you were one of those people. You came up to me. Absolutely. You came up to me and you thanked me for speaking about these things. You demonstrated to me that you're an entrepreneur, and you are. Now I've got to know you a little bit better, and I see that my instincts and my judgments were correct. And there were a few more. But I don't know everybody in that group, but I will tell you that from that one session I had with your group, there were certain individuals that even in that group rose up and demonstrated that, yes, they truly are entrepreneurs. So the one thing I need to say is, when you ask me what's the one thing I can say to encourage people, is I have to be very clear. This is not for everybody. Okay. And so it really, being an entrepreneur is about taking responsibility for your own actions. It is about having the guts and the fortitude to put it on the line, to put yourself out there, to go forward. And that can be a scary thing. And I can encourage people to take that first step, and I can show them the way to success. I love to show people the way to success. I've got some gray hair here. I still think it's blonde, but my daughter assures me that it is in fact gray. I've earned that over the years by taking steps, by making mistakes. I made some mistakes today, and I made some yesterday, and I'm sure I'm going to make some tomorrow. But I've also done a lot of good things in each of those days. And so you have to learn to do that. But it's all I could say is it's not for everybody. I try to help people. I try to show them success. I try to, my three favorite E's in the world are to educate, to entertain, and engage. I try to share my stories. I try to share my success formulas. And those are the things that I try to do to help people.
So I always tell people, what was the point you knew you were for entrepreneurship? And you shared a great story about your grandfather, but I'll let you tell us when you knew entrepreneurship was right for you.
Well, now my story about my grandfather wasn't necessarily about my entrepreneurship. That was a question that I was asked during your panel discussion about who inspired me. And he truly did inspire me. Hang on, I got to plug in my computer here. He truly did inspire me because he came to the U.S. As a German immigrant, escaping Nazi Germany back in the early 30s. He was 19 years old and came here with nothing in his pocket. And so he's a true inspiration to me. That took a lot of, guts and fortitude of its own. But that isn't necessarily what got me started as an entrepreneur. But my family is very entrepreneurial, and I will say back even in my teenage years, my brother and I started a business, and back it's a long time ago, Erica. This was in the early 1980s, but my brother and I we started a few businesses, frankly, and we had some fun, we had some success, and I realized, hey, this is it. This is what I want to do. That did not keep me from spending 25 plus years in the corporate world. You've heard me speak that those corporate experiences were formative for me. They helped me. They helped me be who I am, but it wasn't for me. I am a true entrepreneur, and at this point, I am absolutely, positively, 100% unemployable. There's no doubt.
There is a great guy on Facebook who has T-shirts, literally says unemployable, and he sells a ton of them.
There's no doubt. Yeah, a true entrepreneur is absolutely unemployable.
I feel that way a lot of times, and I even made a little article and a video about how to survive without a job in Austin.
Oh, there are several. Yes, I saw that post. There are several days that I'd like to fire myself. I mean, it just there's no doubt about it.
So I know you said that corporate world wasn't for you, but for others out there, how could they finance their home business? Which I know you have plenty of ideas.
Well, the thing about financing your own business is to understand that cash flow is king. Okay, so you need to have a business that provides you cash flow. My formula was not to go out there and borrow a bunch of money and start something and hope that it works. Mine was to go out there and bootstrap it and get cash coming in and invest that cash back in the business. And that's what I do to this day. So we run very lean, very mean, and very, very much debt free on the business side, because that's the way we choose to operate. Others have had other formulas, but to me, that's it. You can get started today in many, many businesses for little to no money, get some money coming in, and then start investing that money back into the business. That's the way I've done it.
So for the people out there who are like, I'm ready to start my business, how important is marketing and promotion for them? How important can you stress marketing and promotion to them?
It's everything. Okay. Do you know what one of the classic definitions of marketing is? Marketing makes selling irrelevant. Okay, that's what marketing is. The job of marketing is to make sales irrelevant. What does that mean? That means a good marketing makes sales just happen. And without sales, there's no revenue. Without revenue, there's no business. That's what we were talking about just a minute ago, okay? There's no revenue, no cash flow, no business. So marketing makes those sales happen, which leads, of course, to the revenue. And if you're managing your business well and keeping your cash flow positive, that's how it's done. But businesses that are out there and are not actively marketing are really putting themselves at a significant disadvantage.
I love that you say that it's everything. I went to a Facebook promoted event during South by Southwest. It was over 700 different local business people in Austin there. And it was amazing. It was just packed jam full of all these people. And Facebook was just literally saying to them, you got to spend money. You want to market on Facebook, you got to spend a little money. And so I think a lot of those people in that room, maybe it blew their mind, maybe it didn't, but marketing is important. It is just so important. I don't know how well to stress that to people.
Well, I'd like to draw a distinction there. You know, when you spend money on marketing, they call it advertising. Okay. And Facebook is in the business of selling advertising. So that's part of the reason they say that. There's a lot of things that you can do marketing wise that doesn't cost you any money. I'm looking at you on my screen right there, and you're very smart. You've got a lower third, as I do. You've got your name, and right below that is your website. That's marketing. How much did that cost you?
Nothing but time.
Nothing but time. And we're making this video right now, and you're going to put it on YouTube, and you're going to blog about it, right? And how much is all of that costing you?
Nothing but the free time I have.
Time is money. We all know that, okay?
Yeah.
But we did talk about bootstrapping, and bootstrapping means it doesn't mean you don't spend. It means that you invest wisely, and a lot of bootstrapping does mean we're going to invest our time, which is a very, very valuable asset.
Yes.
It is the most valuable asset, okay? That and your knowledge and your expertise. So don't give away either of those things. Don't give away your time. Don't give away your expertise. Those are your most valuable assets, okay? But the bottom line is this. You're marketing in a very smart way, but those things that I'm pointing out right there did not cost you money. Now, you might spend money on other things. You've probably bought some business cards. You probably own a website, and you pay for the hosting of that website and things like that. There are some costs involved, but marketing not all marketing costs money.
Yes, so very true. I love YouTube. Using YouTube, it is one of the freest opportunities for me to speak to people, be in control of my channel, and also can put the information on Facebook. I can use those videos on Facebook and other places. There are many different ways to market, and I love that. While I'm looking on your blog and you're giving away free things to get the email, I just think it's so important. I don't think people realize how important email gathering is. Could you explain how important email gathering is?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That is one of the secrets, because you need to be able to reconnect with people. Okay. The reason we're doing these things right now, you and I are sitting here making a video, is we are, again, you go back to my 3 E's, education, entertainment, and engagement. We are doing all 3 of those things right now. Okay. But what's very important is somebody might come and they might watch this video. I hope they do. Okay. And they enjoy it and they pick up good tidbits of information. They should, because we've already in just a few minutes given a lot. Okay. So they should, and they should want more. All right. But if they go now and leave this video at the end of this video and they go away and we haven't brought them in, okay, for instance, we haven't gotten them to go to your website, classyscl.com, or my website, buildbigbiz.com, I'm going to say to you right now, okay, if you want to learn more about the back end, here's my book. It's called The Back End Blueprint. Okay, whoops, there it is. Okay, I will give you this book for free, the electronic version. Just go right there. Okay, right there, buildbigbiz.com, and you'll see a way to get my book for free. Now, I'm going to ask you for my email, for your email address, and the reason why is because I want to be able to follow up with you. I want to be able to continue to engage and entertain. And by the way, I will tell you quite clearly that at some point in time, you will become exposed to the fact that I have products for sale. I'm going to give you a lot of stuff for free, but some people say, Steve, I want more. I want more. Great. I've got products that I will offer you. Okay. But now at that time, that's how I'm making the connection. And I will tell you unashamedly, that, you know, the reason we do this is because we are trying to meet people, but we want to engage with them and we want to move forward with them. So that's why. Your marketing has to become part of the funnel. Now I'll share one more thing with you. My book, The Back End Blueprint, okay, just making sure I'm getting on the camera. All right, it's all about a formula. And I even brought this to show you. Okay. And you're not going to be able to see this right now, but this is my blueprint, and that's what the Back End Blueprint's all about. Okay, that's what the book is all about. It's about this formula.
Hold it a little bit in the middle.
Okay, well, there you go.
There you go.
I don't expect you to see it or see all the details, okay? But what I want you to know is there's a formula to that follow-up success, to ensuring that things happen. I think you heard my story called The Perfect Sales Storm. Did you listen to that, I believe, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So you know what that story is, and others will, if they follow forward, they'll get to hear that story. And that story is all about how I found this formula, okay? And, you know, when I was young and I had some dumb luck and I fell into some success, and I thought it was because I was very good. What I realized is that it ended up I was lucky, all right? So then I wanted to go back and re-engineer that success, because the second and third and fourth successes did not come as easy for me as the first success did. So I had to go back and say, what really did make me successful that first time? And that's when I engineered this whole process that has come to become the Back End Blueprint. Now I know there really is a process for that success. There really is a process for that follow-up to happen, and that any business and any entrepreneur can and should put themselves in the best possible opportunity to succeed by laying out that type of a procedure. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes total sense. I read a quote and I was going to tell you about it. It said, marketing is a sales system. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. That fits into Steve's whole thing. It is a sales system. If you have good marketing, it leads people to buy. But also, what leads people to come back? I open my email even today and I see stuff like, hey, would you like to come back and buy something? And I'm like, you know what? I would.
Good for you.
And it's probably been months since I went there, but it was the fact that they are still following up. That's how important email is.
Well, it is. And whoever that company is, I give them kudos, because more than 2/3 of the companies out there do not do that. So the fact that that company was doing it, kudos to them. And chances are they're succeeding and beating their competition simply because of that.
So true, so true. And I have one of my side businesses. I went to an office and I talked to a guy and I just gave great conversation, even though I knew he was going to tell me no on the business aspect for various reasons. And then he just gave me bonus information. And he's like, you know what you're doing that other people aren't doing? You're taking the time to actually speak with me. So if there's ever opportunity in the future, I will make sure I do business with you. What did I do with his card? I made sure to put it in my contacts. I made sure to connect with him on LinkedIn. And I made sure that as soon as he's ready, I'm going to call him. And I just think that's good follow-up. And I think that's something missing that people don't tell other business people. Good
I have to ask you a question here. If it's okay for a teaching moment.
Sure.
Okay. But maybe you're doing this already. You said to me, when he's ready, you'll follow up. You said something to that effect, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to be.
Okay. My question for you is, how will you know when he's ready?
I'm going to keep following up with him on email.
Beautiful.
And stopping by there briefly, not just crashing on him, but briefly doing personal visits.
Okay. So here's my teaching moment. Good for you for doing that. Okay. Now, how many contacts can you keep doing that with manually?
That would be very hard. Need a system.
You need a system, okay? And you need to automate that system. And today, this is the beautiful thing about the time that we live in and the tools that are available to us. I like to say that technology changes nothing, but it improves everything, okay? The system for following up, what you just described, that's been around forever. If you listen to Richard Sears talk about how he started the Sears catalog in the late 1800s, he was doing that, but he didn't have the tools that we have today. Okay, but you need to automate that because it will start falling through the cracks. So that's one person. Okay, now go out and do that 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, 200 times, and you said I'm going to stop in with them periodically. Well, if you've got 200 people, how are you going to keep that straight? How are you going to know, oh, today it's the day to follow? It's going to break. It's going to fall through the cracks, and that's why you need to automate that. Now, and I'll give you a perfect example. So I do the same thing that you do, and then I put them in a system, and I follow up immediately, and then my system automatically on the 47th day sends another email and says, hey, it's Steve, just touching base with you, seeing how you're doing. How can I help you? Please reply to my email. Okay. That happens for every single person that I meet and I put into the system. It happens for every single one. Now, on Wednesday of last week, I got one of those emails sent back to me. It was a reply, and it was from somebody. He said, hey, Steve, thanks so much for keeping in touch. Yeah, let's schedule a meeting. We got to talk. All right. Now, I did not send that email. My system sent the email. Some people think that's cold, it's impersonal, but it's not. Okay. We're not trying to trick him. We didn't say, hey, this is Steve and I'm live. This is just me. The people that get these emails, they appreciate it. It actually is the exact opposite of being impersonal. It's being personal because you took the time to set up a system to show the person you cared about following up with them. Right? Now, does every single person follow up? They do not. But the people that are what I call ready, willing, and able to do business with you right now, those are the people that do reply and say, Steve, Erica, thanks so much for following up. Yes, I'm raising my hand. I am ready right now to do business with you. That's a very simple follow-up plan that will work for you and will work for all the businesses that put something like that in place.
Sounds awesome. So Steve, do you do any coaching? Do you do any, I know you do speaking, you came to our class and you spoke. Do you do any coaching, or people could reach out to you and get personalized coaching?
I hesitate because I do, but it's very limited and frankly pretty expensive. And I keep it that way on purpose. The reason why is I design systems for the masses. I used to be employed by a company, by several companies, okay, and at very nice salaries doing this for those businesses. And these were big companies, some of them literally billion-dollar companies that could invest in me, could invest in my expertise and so forth. And then when I went on my own, some of my first clients were big companies like a division of 3M, okay, and they could write you a nice big check. But the reality was, that's not what my passion that I stated to you earlier is. My passion is I want to help a lot of businesses. Because of technology and the way it is today, I can now design these systems and make them cost effective for a lot of businesses. I'd rather have 1,000 businesses paying me $100 than have one business paying me $100,000. Okay. And so that's why when you ask me if I do coaching, the answer is no. You probably understand the difference between linear and exponential, and coaching is linear. It's a trade of dollars for hours, and that's very, very linear. That's not in my best interest, and it also deprives a lot of the other businesses that I'm trying to help, because where I could be doing something that helps thousands of businesses, I'm doing that with one individual. Now, so that was a very long answer to your question. Yes, I do coaching. Okay, but it's very, very limited. And if somebody wants to hire me as a coach, once they get into following up with me and showing interest, they will be exposed to those opportunities. But frankly, there's a pretty hefty qualification in order to do that.
I just think that's so important for people to realize. in a business. Even the coaching people that are out there in Facebook, wherever, coaching is still trading time for hours, and you're putting a lot of investment in people. So it's important to build online products. And so I feel like people are scared to build online products, but that's where people like you, Steve, come in with this system and this blueprint to help them.
So the second answer to your question, to take that to the next level, is what I offer that is more along the lines of what I'm talking about. Is I do have online training. I do have membership areas. I do have, whoops, my screen went away. 1 second. I've got my next appointment coming up, so let me just quickly put a snooze on that. Okay. Yes, I do have membership areas. I've got, frankly, a lot of members in these membership areas, and I train them on a regular basis. We do webinars and hangouts and share best practices. And yes, we do all those things.
All right, Steve, I'm going to get you down to your last two questions. So my first and my last is, if someone wanted to change their life today and they bumped into you, Steve, and they're like, help, Steve, this is, I want to change my life. I want to head in this new direction. What could you tell them?
I would tell them, start by reading my book at buildbigbiz.com. That's what I would tell them.
Awesome. Awesome. My second and my final question, it's a bonus question because you can be as creative as you desire. If you started all over again with the knowledge you have now, maybe blonde hair again, and you had $500, what would you do with that $500?
I'd invest it all and buy a lot of copies of my book at buildbigbiz.com, and I'd pass it out to all my friends. No, what would I? I would take that money and I would be very careful about investing it in somewhere that I knew that I could get an immediate return. I would not invest it by going out and spending $250 to have a good looking logo designed. No, I wouldn't do that at all. Okay. I would design it into something that would immediately bring me back a positive ROI. Cash flow is king.
Awesome. I mean, I say $500 and some people look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, $500 could be a lot depending on the business.
You could do it for less than $100. All right.
They,
put up your website and start with a process, and start small, take your first step, get your first success. So here, that's probably a better answer to some of your questions is, start small and get your first success. Whatever it is you're doing, if you're helping a business, then help that business achieve their first success. If you're selling cookies, then do it in a way where you're going to sell cookies and get that first success under your belt. Because once you achieve that first success, it's going to give you a lot more confidence, and it's going to open your eyes to the possibilities. You will find out that you will say to yourself, boy, if I only did something a little differently, I could have done even better. Yes, that's part of the entrepreneurial success formula. It's always going to happen. All right. And if you're very, very, very successful, guess what? You still could have been more successful. So you'll still learn something else you can do and improve next time. Just measure your results and go back and focus on areas where you think you can improve.
Love it. It's great stuff. This tweetable is all throughout this thing, and I'm going to be able to type up a bunch. Name that cigar you're smoking.
This is from my buddies down on 6th Street and also on Burnett Road, called Babalu Cigar Company. They have been in, there we go. They've been in Austin for 17 years. They happen to be one of my clients, and we've turned Jeff, who's the owner of Babalu Cigar Company, we've turned that company into a brilliant marketer. We've more than doubled, even approaching tripled his business, and I like to say it's one of the toughest businesses in the world because of all the laws and rules and regulations against tobacco products and smoking products. Yet he still has more than doubled his business, and it's all been done with good marketing.
And good
but that is a Babalu Rojo cigar.
Rojo cigar.
That is a Rojo, but locally made right here in Austin. He makes all his own stuff. So thanks. I will give him a plug. Go down and see him on Burnett or on 6th Street. All
right, Steve. Shout out that name of your great website one more time for us today.
Well, start off with buildbigbiz.com. I've got lots of websites. You'll get to know them all. But, you know, the first thing is, you know, read that book. It's a short read. It's a fast read. It's a very engaging read. Find out if it's right for you. But start off with that. Go to buildbigbiz.com and you can't miss it. You will know right away what to do.
Awesome. Everybody out there in the slow and low series today, this has been Steve Rosenbaum that you can reach at www. Well, actually, you don't have a www. You have
it would still work, but yeah.
Still work? Okay. www.buildbigbiz.com. And this is Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog at www.classyscl.com. Thank you so much, Steve, for your time today. Hopefully, we'll hit you back up in the future.
Thank you, Erica. I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.